Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. I'm going to tell you about the Renegades of Hollywood, Hollywood Renegades. We're going to talk about that here in a second, but first I want to go over some headlines. I want to glaze over these previous Q posts. So here's the headlines I'm going to show you, just real quick in succession. Trending on Drudge right now is that Facebook dropped 20%. Q says they may have been collapsing under the weight of their own illegal activities. A lot of money evaporated really quick as investors pulled their money out of the company. I found this to be weird for those tracking the situation down there in South Africa with all the white people getting genocided. Turns out Obama is praising that. He's all down for genocide of white South Africans. The Trump White House banned a CNN reporter. Fox News has taken their side. They got banned because they were talking about the Playboy affair. Not really the best place to talk about it, you know. Moving on. Here's some more information about Facebook paying a price for its scandals in the form of a large stock price correction. Jeff Sessions has moved the Justice Department to weigh in on free speech on college campuses. This is really, really big news. I know a lot of people have been tracking this story for a while. Valerie Jarrett, so a top Obama official, one of the people that was instrumental in his White House, says that socialism is welcome in the Democratic Party. Her quote is, "We have a big tent, and I think there is room for a lot of voices in our party," Valerie Jarrett said. If one spoonful of crazy wasn't enough, here's a second spoonful from Elizabeth Warren. She says that a personal tax rate of up to 50% is okay. Let me find it down here. When asked what's too high for the top personal rate, is 50% obviously too high? She said, "There was a time in a very prosperous America where the top marginal rate was well above 50%, Elizabeth Warren said. And if you still believe in fairy tales, the Jerusalem Post wants you to believe that there are still Holocaust survivors walking around. You know, the thing that I never got was, why would somebody work as a roofer in a death camp? This guy survived the Holocaust, says Shine, who worked as a roofer at the Nazi death camp before making a daring escape with his good friend Max Drimmer, died on June 23rd. He was 96 years old. Why would you be working as a roofer at a death camp? Why wouldn't you just be dead? Never got over that one. Moving on. Turns out that in a recent interview, Clapper admitted that Obama personally ordered Peter Strzok to set up the Mueller probe. This is big news. He said this on an interview with Anderson Cooper. The quote is, "If it weren't for President Obama, we might not have done the intelligence community assessment that we did that set up a whole sequence of events, which are still unfolding today, notably Special Counsel Mueller's investigation." All right, we got all that out of the way. This previous post points to this guy. He's a congressman from Texas. He has this huge paper he put out. I checked it. It's legit. He actually posted it on his Congressional House page. This is a link to it. It's a very, very long document. It's a 48-page character assassination on Robert Mueller by Congressman Louie Gohmert. Maybe it's worth a read. It's very long. Most of it's just mainstream media reports. And the rest of the post talks about the Robert Mueller investigation, Jeff Sessions, Robert Rosenstein. I've talked about this before. I've had some pushback in the comments. Let me make this clear. It's my understanding that in the chain of command, Huber, who's running the special investigation with IG Horowitz, they have 470 people supposedly investigating across both the entire country, like from coast to coast, all 50 states. He reports directly to Rod Rosenstein, but was appointed by Sessions. So when Rosenstein steps down, Huber will likely step into Rosenstein's shoes. When Mueller, the investigation's over, Sessions can de-recuse himself and come back. And it's breaking news because Jim Jordan just announced that he's going to run for Speaker of the House on the same day, the same 24-hour time period that him and Mark Meadows introduced articles of impeachment against Rod Rosenstein. Now, to my understanding, no attorney general has ever been impeached, has never been in an impeachment situation ever, including Eric Holder and everything else that you know about. It's never happened. So this is new. There is no precedence to do what they're doing right now. This is why people like 0 Hour 1 keep wanting to parrot that Sessions is going to quit once Rod Rosenstein is removed. Okay, they have a vested interest in making sure you don't get the news and you're not ahead of this. You're not talking about it before it happens. 0 Hour 1 has been tied in with InfoWars, so take that as a grain of salt. Take it as you will. Also, I noticed on Twitter, 0 Hour 1, along with pressing a lot of bad news out to people on Twitter, he's been involved in conversation chains with Belliati Marxist agent Pineapple Juice, whatever his name is. So that's kind of the rundown of post 1711. That's the headlines. Now I'm going to spend the rest of the time I got talking about Hollywood Renegades. Now, I was waiting because I wasn't sure if this thing was legit or not. When I saw this picture, most of you have seen this picture already. Okay, that's a picture of Sarah Silverman posting a meme on the Chan board saying, "Stand the F down." And I thought, there's no way this is real. Here's the post. I'm going to read it to you because it was posted to the QAnon board. So I'm taking from this that QAnon says it's legit. It's been out there for a couple days, too. It's been out there for 4 days already. So it says, this is what Sarah Silverman, if this is Sarah Silverman, okay, this is what she's saying. She says, "Do you think this is some sort of game? Do you not understand that you are effing with people's livelihoods? These are real people's lives we're talking about. This is wrong on so many levels. You all think you're so big and tough hiding behind a screen, you worthless redneck, racist, inbred pieces of S. You have no idea who and what you're going up against." Well, let me tell you something, Sarah Silverman, if you can hear my message. No one gives a fuck about you. You think we're afraid of you? Are you kidding me? No one even knows who Sarah Silverman is. You're a washed-up, has-been, talentless comedian. Okay? You're a nobody nothing, Sarah Silverman. No one cares about you. No one cares about you. So your threats are empty. And if anything, this just gives us more fuel to come after you. So I wasn't going to mention this. This isn't something I was trying to bring up. There's the full message. You can pause it. But I got to tell you something. Threatening people on the Chan boards is a bad move, buddy. That's a bad move. Okay, now full credit to Neon Revolt. This guy's a legend, man. He's been right about just about everything that he has posted. He's the first person to get the Q clock really, really well documented online, to take a good stab at that. He's introduced a number of things. I think me and him kind of have the same perspective on a lot of this stuff, you know? So if he says this page is legit, this picture was legit, I believe him, you know? Personally, my first impression of this picture was I could easily Photoshop that, but he says that he's been on the Chan boards, and he said, as far as anyone can tell, it's genuine. They looked at it. They said it's not been edited, so I'm going to take it as legit. If Neon Revolt says it's legit, and now Q has put it on the board, okay, I find this interesting. So just since I've been talking, these are new posts. I don't have time to go over it here. I want to keep talking about this. So we're talking about Hollywood Renegades. Okay, now here's the quote. It's a quote from the Bible, Colossians 3:5. It says, "Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to you, to your earthly nature, sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. 6. Because of these, the wrath of God is coming. Your evil has no place in this world." Now, this is what I deal with. I just released a video about Tom Hanks being kind of caught up with this. I told Sarah Ashcraft's story, and I tried to make it apparent in that video, man. I don't know the truth. I'm just introducing this material. You can make up your own mind. Okay, I got kind of cooked on another YouTube video that came out today by a person without very many viewership, but they have a really big problem. I noticed also that 0 Hour One guy, I mentioned him earlier, he's on Twitter defending Tom Hanks right now as we speak. Now here's my question. Tom Hanks has 15 million followers. His followers can chime in. Why are people from the truth community taking Tom Hanks's side? Why are people connected to InfoWars? Why are they taking Tom Hanks' side in this? I'm not saying Tom Hanks did anything, okay? I'm saying he's connected to all this stuff. There's some weird stuff that we can talk about with Tom Hanks. And Sarah Ashcraft seems to want... Either she wants attention and she's lying and wants attention, or she's telling the truth. It's one or the other. Okay? Now, I find this weird because this week, all right, this week, 26th, the week of July 26th, she posted hers back on Sunday, issuing a stand-down order. Now, this week, we've had James Gunn, that pedo stuff. Then we had the Dan Harmon stuff. Okay, this guy is one of the creators of Rick and Morty. I covered him already. And then we got this stuff on Twitter that I really didn't want to be a part of, but I figured I'd let people know about it. There's this guy named Isaac Cappy who says that Seth Green is a pedophile. Now, Seth Green is involved with Adult Swim, and Adult Swim is the organization that supported Dan Harmon in creating a show. Adult Swim, I think, makes Rick and Morty. So they're all tied in. All these comedians are tied in. Dan Harmon, Seth Green, and now Sarah Silverman have all been implicated in QAnon-related stuff all in the same week. You know? And here she is on the board. So my whole take on this has been, if it's not on the board, it's not real Q. I got that from Neon Revolt. That's what Neon Revolt said. Look, if it's not on the board, it's not real Q. He was ahead of this, and, you know, I was kind of taking his advice, kind of staying out of this until it was. Trying not to muddy the waters here, but then here it is. You know, it made the board today. So this is a really, really long article. He does a great job of documenting everything that he possibly can. Here he's got a video in here talking about MSM, so mainstream media going after QAnon. I didn't cover this. There was a bunch of Q posts about it. The MSM is terrified of what we're doing here, and what they've decided, their strategy. Remember with the Pizzagate stuff? The mainstream media cannot counteract online rumors. They can't even talk about online rumors. It's quote unquote not real, right? So in the Pizzagate thing, until they got that guy who ran over the kid in the crosswalk, whose father was a movie producer, until they got him to walk into Jimmy Comet Pizza Place and shoot his gun into the floor or the computer or whatever, until that happened, the mainstream media could not report on Pizzagate because it wasn't real, okay? That's why they set that whole thing up, so they'd have a way to discredit it and say, look, it's dangerous to talk about these types of things. So this is our moment in the QAnon community. No one died or got hurt on that bridge shooting, right? So what they're doing is they're going after this thing, and they're saying, look, it's dangerous to talk about these ideas. You can't have apps. You can't sell T-shirts. You can't talk about QAnon. It's because they see where this is headed. So here's some stuff about Liz, talking about James Gunn. I made a James Gunn video, and I haven't uploaded it yet. And now I think I will. I kind of take his side on it. Honestly, I think James Gunn made some poor jokes, but that wasn't really what the problem was in this whole thing. The problem was him posting videos, you know, from known child pornographers to his personal website. So this all happened this week. It's still happening. Hollywood Renegades looks like it is real. But these drops that just happened while the two of us were talking, okay, they're clarifying it. They're saying it's a proven shop job. The author of the post, the face is never the author. Direct comms come in many forms. I think they knew that Hollywood stuff was going to break wide open, and they used this to push it out. Part 2 on the way.